I'm not really following any rules. In fact, I don't even think there are any rules for how a cigar box guitar neck should be shaped. I'm just kind of trying to make it consistent. It's really kind of a narrow neck compared to a guitar. You know, I've got these templates for a guitar neck, but it's too wide even on the smallest one where the head of the guitar is. It's still too wide, so I'm kind of not even using that. I'm just trying to make sure I'm kind of staying consistent, kind of feeling what it feels like, and just making sure I'm not unevenly filing down any part of the neck. For example, I'm using this ruler and I'm laying it on the neck on each side, and I'm just looking for any kind of gaps or high spots. So for example, if I lay it right here, I can see that the ruler's touching here, not right here at the tip, and then not right here at the back. So that tells me I need to do a little bit more in this spot right here. And I'm just doing the same thing, just kind of going up and down the neck, making sure that I'm pretty much just consistently straight and kind of the same shape. Now, I did bring the thickness of the neck down a little bit just a minute ago by just doing this, so I can feel that flat spot there that I made. So now it's flat on top and I can feel this ridge right here as it begins to slope down. So I'm going to just continue working on this. I'm going to even out those ridges, just kind of stick to a consistent shape. I'm not really looking for anything, like I said. I'm just trying to make it look okay. I'm going to continue working on this and I'll catch back up with you when I get done. Gone as far as I'm going to go with the neck. Got it sanded up to 220. I even sanded the headstock and the back strap. So that's ready to go. On purpose, I did not sand the neck, or sorry, the fretboard before I did fretwork. And I'm not planning on sanding it, but I kind of wonder if I should have sanded it a little bit. I didn't want to mess up the numbers and stuff on it, so I left it like it was. But obviously 220 is really smooth and this is not 220, so I can tell the difference. But it is what it is. I'm going to keep moving forward. Sanded all the way up to the heel. Just tried to stop before where the box comes up to. Next, I think I'm going to go ahead and level the frets and get that done. You can hear how it's rocking on this fret. So this fret is high compared to these two. And I've got a few more places down the neck that I have that. But I can't say it's not as bad as I thought it would be, but it's still not good. So I do need to go ahead and just do a full fret leveling job, which I still feel like a huge amateur doing any kind of fretwork. I've only really done 2 guitars so far. I haven't even done the fretwork on my 3rd guitar yet. Anyway, let me get the file out and I'll do that. I don't know if that's enough. I can see the flat spot in all of these. So the flat spot's a little bit wider than the other ones, but those are the frets that are sitting up higher. So now I've got to recrown them, and I've got a crowning tool, but still not very good at using it, like I said. I just need to learn more about how to do this. I did purchase a course from luthieracademy.com on doing fretwork. It's by Michael Bashkin, who is like a master luthier. I just haven't watched the whole thing. Maybe I should have watched that part before doing this. I'm definitely going to watch it before I do my 3rd guitar. I went ahead and decided to go ahead and put some Sharpie. I tried one back here and I can actually see a little line of Sharpie left after working on it, so I feel like I'll get a better result. Keep doing this and I'll catch up. Alright, I finished the crowning of all the frets. And I've been doing some thinking, and I decided that I didn't want to take this cigar box guitar apart. This is the first one I made, so I think I want to just keep it like this. And I realized how inexpensive parts are for cigar box guitars, so I got some new tuners. I got some corners to go on the box. I got a couple of F-hole covers. I'm thinking I'm going to put F-holes in the top. I'm just going to leave this one the way it is. I know in the first video I said I was going to take it apart and use the parts, but I decided against it. I think these tuners were only like less than $10, so really very inexpensive. That's why I decided to go ahead and just get some new parts and leave that cigar box guitar alone. Now before I finish all the fretwork, I think I need to go ahead and take care of the tuner holes and do some finish on the neck. and on the headstock and have that dry, and then I can finish the frets. But I laid out for some tuners up here, but I put them on the wrong side. I put 2 on this side, 1 on this side. And if I flip that over, that means I'll have 2 tuners here and 1 on the top. I really want 2 on the top and 1 on the bottom, so I'm gonna have to lay out again for it. But the bad thing is I've already used an awl and put an impression into the wood where I want to drill at. So what I'm going to try to do is try to steam those out as much as I can, and then lay out again for them in the correct spots, and then drill them out. So I'll show you how I'm going to steam them out. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. I've had some success steaming dents out in my guitar builds. It seems to work pretty well, but I really did lay into these, and I'm kind of concerned they're not going to come all the way out, but we'll see. I'm not sure if you'll see this darkened color is just all where the epoxy came through. It's really smooth, and like you saw when I wiped it off with mineral spirits, it should just kind of blend in with the color. I hope it does anyway. I don't want to sand it anymore really too much because it's a really, really thin veneer and I'm scared to go through it. Maybe you can see the spots. There's one, there's another one where I used the awl and I just pushed into where I wanted the tuners to be. So I've got a bottle of water and a blue towel that I've just folded over. I'm going to spray some water onto the corner right here. Then I've got a pyrography, whatchamacallit. My wife bought a pyrography set and it came with this. It's kind of like a soldering iron, but it's got that flat tip on it. And I'm going to lay the wet napkin on top of that and just use the tip and just try to steam those dents out. So let's see if it works. And I'm going to just kind of wet them down a little bit. Maybe let the water get in them a little bit. Just kind of drag it across as I do it. See, it's staying wet, so you just don't want it to dry out and then burn the wood. One time, I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking, well, if I just lay it on there, it'll dry the wood off quicker. So I just laid the iron right on top of the wood and left a burn mark. You don't want to do that. I can still see that one. It may not get them all the way out, but you know, as long as it gets it mostly out, I think I'll be happy. It's going to be on the back. You know how I talked about, you know, you don't want to burn the wood? Well, look at this. Apparently I've touched the wood with this hot part right here and left some burn marks. Man, I'll tell you one thing. That's not what I meant to do. So I guess when I was laying it down, this part, which is hot, was laying on the wood. I must have, oh my God, I can't believe that. Well, it's part of the guitar now, you know? I don't think there's anything I could do for that. I'm just glad it's on the back of the headstock where you won't really see it, but oh well, it's another lesson learned. There's a lot of those whenever you build stringed instruments. Alright, so now the holes are pretty much gone, except for those two. Got them out as much as I could, but now I have burn marks. So, whatever. Man, I just can't believe I did that. Can you believe it? Man, I can't believe that. Anyway, I got the tuner holes cut. And you know what, I mentioned that I had done that before. It was actually on my third guitar, but it was at the top of the binding of the fretboard, at the bound fretboard. So that was before I radiused the fretboard, so it just sanded right off. Didn't have to worry about it. But this kind, man, at least it's on the back where most people won't see it. I mean, I'll see it. And you can see it. I mean, you can see it. I'm not, you know, giving it away to anybody. It's gonna be mine, so whatever. It is what it is. There's the mistakes I made on the back. And of course there's one on the front too. You see the bottom left hole. There's some chip out from when I was drilling out for the bushings that go on the top. That was after what I did on the drill press. So, yep. Can't hide that one too much. I'll just come on out with it and fess up. So there you go. I am not perfect, but I did the best I could. And, you know, I just need to come up with a better solution for next time. When I sanded the fretboard, some of the blue paint from the roller got down inside the, I guess, the grain of the wood, so it's just kind of stuck in there now, but I think it's okay. It looks pretty good. I like it. It kind of adds a rustic charm to the whole thing, which is okay for a cigar box guitar, I guess. All right, next step. All right, I'm really going to try not to screw up. I'm really hoping the wood doesn't tear out right here like it did right there. My kids are going crazy upstairs, but it is what it is. I'm just going to put this forstner bit right down on that little dot I made earlier in the build. I want to go deeper than that. I like that. I think that looks pretty good. I got some epoxy. I'm going to put the smallest amount in there, just enough to fill the hole like that. That looks like a lot of epoxy. It might be too much. Yep, it's coming out. I don't want to use too much. Golly, look at this. I didn't plan for this. All the squeeze out. Just didn't know what I was going to do. Okay, I'm going to keep working on this and then put a clamp on it. I'll catch up with you when I get done. I've got to decide about the sound holes. Okay, so first I bought some F-hole covers. So I was going to cut F-holes and then put the covers over the F-holes and I'll kind of outline the F-hole. But I just realized tonight they did not come with screws, and the smallest screws I have are still too long for this thin top. So I don't know why they didn't come with screws. It seems like it'd be better if they did, but what I decided to do instead of having screws poking all the way through and coming out here is to just drill some holes like Puckett does on his channel, which, like I mentioned in the past 3 videos, this whole build was inspired by Puckett. Got links to his YouTube channel in the description. One thing he does a lot of is just put 2 sound holes in the top corners of the Cigar Box guitar. So what I did was I measured down to the same spot, and I've got this Forstner bit. Anything else I have is too big or too small. So this is about the right size, I guess, for what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to go ahead and just go for it. I hope I don't tear up the top. I really don't. I really don't. I'll probably color the inside black. I think it looks pretty good. So let's do the next one. Something about them does not look even, but I measured as good as I could, and I don't know what you think. This one looks higher. There's a lot of red on this box, so I decided to paint the inside of the holes red. I don't actually have a black Sharpie, so it is what it is. This is a decision I made within a millisecond and just went with it. Okay, after thinking about it a while, I just couldn't take my eye away from the fact that one of the holes was higher up than the other. So I was trying to think, well, what can I do? I don't think there's anything I could do. But then I thought, well, maybe if I just accentuate the fact that the holes are not lined up, it'll kind of hide the fact that it was a mistake in the first place. So what I did was added 2 more holes. Let's see, I guess it'll look like this. This one's a little bit closer to the top than that one. So I decided to add 2 smaller holes, one closer to the hole and one farther from the hole. I don't know what you think, but I kind of like it looking at it. And it's the decision I made, so I'm going to live with it and just continuing to move forward. All right. It's been a couple of days since I cut those holes, and what I'm doing now is checking to make sure that this tailpiece is not too long for where the saddle needs to go. So this came flat. I got it from cbgiddy.com, and I've already bent it. I just kind of put it on the back here, figured out where I needed to bend it, put it in my vise and just bend it over. There's the saddle location, and there's the tailpiece. So I've got a good 1.5 inches from where the strings come out of the hole, so I think that's good enough. I just got to figure out how high I got to make the saddle. I have no idea. I've got these pieces of scrap poplar. I'm thinking about using those to cut a saddle, so we'll see. So I decided one way I can check to know how big I got to cut the saddle is to look at my guitar. This is my 3rd guitar build. If I measure the last fret 60 millimeters wide, if I measure the saddle slot, it's 70 millimeters wide. So I'm going to make the saddle for my Cigar Box guitar 10 millimeters wider than the fretboard, and I think that should be sufficient. I've spent about an hour trying to get everything soldered. I just had to go ahead and do it off the camera. I have put this speaker kit together and had such a frustrating time of trying to solder pieces. I swear, it's one of the most frustrating things I've tried. I went ahead and ordered one of those helping hands things just to help me out later, but the solder wouldn't stick. Like, it wouldn't stick to the wires, and I don't know what the deal was, but I just spent an hour putting all these parts together. I don't know what the buzz is from. There's probably something. I couldn't get all these grounds to stick to the bottom of potentiometer, it will not stick. The solder will not stick to the metal pieces. It's just sticking to the wire, and barely. Like I have to, I don't know what the deal is. I may have the wrong kind of solder. Got this like dark colored liquid that forms around where I'm trying to solder, which I'm guessing is flux. Maybe this is flux core solder. I don't know, but it's very, very, very frustrating. I'm about to lose my mind. But I got all this soldered up. Apparently I got a lot to learn. I mean, I need a lot more practice, but I've got this working. So that means my electronics work. What I'm going to do is tape up with electrical tape all of the solder joints as best as I can and try to get all this electrical stuff installed in the guitar and try not to break all the solder joints. If they break or I can't get it, then it's just going to be an acoustic cigar box guitar at this point. I swear. I've just got to, I got to do some kind of practice or find a course or something that teaches how to do it. Like I said, I'm about to lose my mind. Basically followed the diagram here and soldered everything like it should go. Look, the feedback stopped. But it's not as loud. I don't know what the deal is. Let me go ahead and get this electronics put in the guitar, and I'll try to catch up with you when I get done. Somehow, after way too much time later, by the grace of God alone, I got this thing wired up, hooked up, and it still works. This is my first time wiring up electrics for a guitar. It was ridiculously stupid, difficult for some reason. I couldn't, oh my gosh. Looking pretty good, man. I'm really excited though. So let me finish this up. I got to get the knob on there, and then I'm going to attach the tailpiece, get the neck on, tuners in. I made a saddle off camera. I'm going to show you that. I had to drill into the side of the Cigar Box guitar to fit the jack in there, like by a lot. So I just colored it red, just like the inside of the holes. I'm happy. I'm happy. Just as long as it stays like that, you know, I can test it out. That'll be cool. Alright, I just noticed. Yeah, I forgot to take the stinking tape off. Golly, I can't do nothing about it. It's stuck. Well, wait, never mind. It doesn't matter because the tailpiece is going to be covering it. Oh, what am I thinking? Good grief. Put this in there. It's in there. Looking pretty cool, man. So one thing I got to do, and I wasn't planning on, is I've got to attach the neck. I think I got to put some screws in the back. At least I've seen people do that. All I have are 1-inch nails right now. Like panhead nails. Craig screws is what they are, but they got kind of a panhead on the top. These will be barely long enough to reach, and they won't be long enough to reach in the back, so I will need to counter bore just a little bit into the back where the poplar is so that I can put some screws in there. Or I'll just wait to do that later once I can get a little bit longer of a screw. I think I may just wait because this in there pretty tight. I may just plan on getting that for later. I've got a saddle I made a couple days ago. It's going to go somewhere around there, and I was thinking, man, I could go ahead and get the tuners on, string it up, and I should be able to test it. But then I realized I haven't made the nut yet. Seems like it's the same in cigar box guitar building as it is in an acoustic guitar building. There's always one step you forgot about, and you got to go back and do it. So I might got to make the nut. So let me take care of that. This is the nut I'm going to use. It says it's buffalo horn. You know, what's interesting is I don't see black dust. It's like whitish gray. And this thing's like jet black. I gotta get this thing down to 3mm thick, so I may be here for a little bit. It's 5mm thick right now. As you can see, I've got the nut made. I marked center, exactly in the center for the middle string, and then I went a 1/2 inch to each side of it for the outer strings. I read that online somewhere on, I think, cigarboxnation.com on a forum post. So I gotta turn this around and screw those in. I'm gonna take care of that and I'll catch up with you when I get done. I don't think I'm gonna be as crazy about getting the string height right as I would on a guitar. I'm not sure if it's supposed to follow the same rules. Because of that back angle, it raises the strings up off the cigar box a good bit, which makes the action higher automatically. As long as it's not buzzing, I think I'll be fine. I may do it just kind of so that it feels okay, and then I can figure out later down the line what the action is actually supposed to be set to on a cigar box guitar. I'm not sure if it's the same or not as a regular guitar. Pretty cool to hear the first sounds of it. I'm going to take some time to get this set up some more, and I may have to adjust the height of this. I'm not really sure. Let me just at least get it playable, and then I'll see what it's like. What I've done since I put the strings on, I got it up to tune, and I messed with the saddle. I had to move it back and forth until I could do the harmonic at the 12th fret and then push down at the 12th fret and get the same note. It took a little bit of fiddling around. I don't know if you noticed, but I did end up coloring the saddle black and red just to kind of make it match the rest of the box. One problem I had while I was tuning it up and getting it up to tune was the box kind of buckled a little bit, I guess because of the tension of the strings, and it made the top of the box push up and push forward, which must have somehow moved the neck a little bit or bent this little fretboard extension up. So I had to loosen the strings back, get it back down, and what I did was added some Craig screws into the poplar struts that I have on the inside of the box, on the top and the bottom, just to keep the top down and make sure it's not going to pop up and do that. So at this point I'm hoping that all the electronics inside are okay, because I can't get this thing apart unless I take these two screws out, these little metal corners, the tailpiece and the neck, to get inside the box. So let me get these things cut off, and then we'll see how it sounds acoustically, and then we'll see if the electronics still work, and I'll plug it into this little amp kit that I got from CB Giddy back in 2014, and I'll finally put it together. What is that, 9 years later? Let me get my snips and cut those off, and then we'll test it out. Pretty cool, gotta say. The only thing I haven't done, now I guess I gotta back up a little bit. The only thing I haven't done is put the fret markers in the side. I forgot to put them in the face. I thought, it's alright, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna put them in the side. So what I've done is, I've heated up this pyrography pin my wife has. I guess it's kind of like a soldering iron. And I'm just gonna put a dot where they go, 3, 5, 7, 9, 12. This is something I've seen Del Puckett and others do. Just burning the fret markers into the fretboard. And I think that's pretty cool. So let me try that, see how it works. I'm going to just use the very point of it. I don't want them to be very big. 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to eye it, really. Just going to eye it. Just stinking eyeing it. One right there. Right there. Just perfectly the right size for me. Well, what do you think? Let's try it out acoustically. Like I said, I've got it on GDG. It actually sounds pretty loud. I mean, you probably can't hear too loud on the camera. I've just got a shotgun mic on top. Minor chord. I've seen Del playing, so just watching him play, I've seen him do some things, and I'm trying it myself. I see him do this. He does some riff where he slides from 3 to 5. The minor chord or major chord. So let's plug it in and see just how this amp works with this electric cigar box guitar. Kind of crossing my fingers hoping it works. Okay, this is bad. Why is it not working? Oh, shit's thinking no, it was working. Oh, the volume knob. Yeah, there we go. That is stinking awesome. I was really distraught for a second. Like I was in my mind, what did I do wrong? It was working. So I got a volume knob on this and I got a volume knob on the speaker. I got both all the stinking way up. Turn it down a little bit. Here we go. This I've only ever played the one I got over there, and it was a slide. So I'm just going off of what I see Dell do and what I see the guy from Southern Fire Guitars do. I don't know how else to do it. I don't have riffs to play like they do on their channel. That's about as good as it's going to get right now. I can't be more excited. The app works. The amp works. The cigar box works. The volume knob actually works. I can't believe it, because that's something I didn't test. I guess it was all the way up when I installed it, and I turned it down to put this knob on. So I got the red accents on the input jack. I've got the red accents on the inside of the holes, the saddle. I did 3 coats of True Oil for the finish. Black acacia head plate, whatever this is, came in the Cigar Box guitar for a back strap. It's just a small little thin veneer, really is all it is. I just did that so I could cover up the joint from the scarf joint. What can I say? A ruler from Lowe's for the fretboard. A, what is it, bison bone for the nut. This tailpiece, like I said, I had to bend it over by hand. 23-inch scale. It's just a fun little build. I encourage you to try it out. You can get all you need from cbgitty.com. They've got all the supplies that you could possibly want for cigar box guitar building. I guess that's going to do it for this series. Thanks for watching all the videos if you stuck it out to this far. It's probably a very small percentage of you that have watched the whole thing. I would say that probably 95% of you watching right now are not subscribed. Insane. I've got however many subscribers I have, and 90% of them don't watch my videos. So if you notice that you're not subscribed, hit subscribe. I've got a flat top mandolin build coming up. I've got a electric guitar build coming up. Something I haven't revealed yet. So you're getting this news from watching this whole series all the way to the end. I'm going to do a Telecaster. I've already got a maple neck in the other room. I've got a course that I'm going through right now to learn what to do. And I've got to get better at electronics, obviously. I've got to get better at the soldering. I've got to watch a course or something on that because that drove me insane. Well, that's going to be it. The camera literally just cut off while I was talking. I ran out of card space, so I got to do this on the phone. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next series, whatever that is. Bye.